I don't think that the advice that you guys are giving is, or some advice is good. Some advice, like getting your shit together, like
yeah, the things that align with a female imperative, all those are good things.
Getting a job, working hard, working out, those things are
doing all the things that would lead to a better lifestyle for me should I decide to marry you.
Great, but when it comes to relationship advice, I don't agree.
Okay, what do you disagree with specifically?
What I disagree with specifically, I don't think that trying to build up men by very, very shallow things like getting money or having that car.
Okay, so she just said, and I know Myron's going to correct her on this. She just said, I agree with what you have to say about getting your shit together, getting a job, you know, all the male self-improvement side of things that like aligns with that. But yet in the next sentence, the very next sentence, having a lot of money or focusing on money is shallow. Well, what the fuck is it? Because one necessarily contradicts the other. This, remember when I talk about like cognitive dissonance and how women have no trouble with cognitive dissonance? This is it here, right in action. Okay. Cognitive dissonance. It's when a person holds conflicting thoughts or adheres to conflicting, it could be ideologies as well, but like conflicting concepts at the same, holding them at the same time that conflict with one another. In some cases, if you can resolve that, that's fine. It's like part of critical thinking. It's actually a sign of intelligence. But when you're making the case or the premise for one is correct, and yet you contradict it with another one, well, then you've got a problem. And that's what we call classically cognitive dissonance. And that's really where she's at right now. She just got caught in it. She just doesn't know she got caught in it. And what I've said in the past is women have no trouble reconciling cognitive dissonance if those two competing thoughts and concepts, if one or both of those in some way will lead to an optimal outcome for hypergamy, they have no problem holding cognitively different concepts in their head. And this is a perfect example of exactly this.
Or having this sort of image.
But you just said a second ago that building yourself up is good.
Yeah, it is for yourself, but not for just attracting other people out there. Because
I see. So only build yourself up. I'll tell you what's funny is like this is the core argument of guys like Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, all the TradCon, whoever what's his name, Brandis, whoever the Christian soldiers of whatever podcast. They make this all the time. So when you listen to, say, the TradCons or Dennis Prager or the rest of these guys talking about how, well, men need to man up. We need a society of men who are strong men because strong men create good times and good times create weakness. Yeah, all that bullshit. Those are the same guys who will say, get off your ass, work your ass off, but they don't care about you as a guy. They don't care if in fact, to do it for yourself is like the antithesis of what they want you to do. They want you to go get a good job and get yourself educated and do all this stuff and all the other things on my infamous tweet that passed number 3, all of those things that they don't mention. They love those as long as you're sticking to those because you're going to be a father and you're going to be a husband and you're going to be a good pro-social, a good pro. If you're succeeding and you're really building yourself up in your business and stuff, that's what rates a real high value man is a guy who's a servant leader, right? Which is just another euphemism for indentured servant. And here we see this happening right here. Like she doesn't know what to say because essentially the conflict, and I said this earlier in the beginning of the show, the conflict here is between this old 20th century way of thinking of things and this new kind of like, well, go get your bag. Do you like Judge Judy was just saying exactly the opposite. Is that not shallow? Is what Judge Judy, who said in that clip that I put, was that not shallow too? Because she's advising exactly the same thing to women. Is that shallow or is that not shallow? Protecting yourself because you don't know if these sons of bitches are going to turn into abusers or they're going to be losers and then suddenly you won't be sexy anymore and you're going to be ass out and you're going to need to be able to like support yourself and be independent of that guy. And you better have something going for yourself all the time. Like, is that not shallow? Because we're going to get into some other conversations here with Melina where we're going to see just how shallow she really is.
In that case, let's say that you lose all those things, there's just no way that your partner in that case is going to stay with you. She should be with you for you and your interest. And
Melina, if you're married to Destiny.
In a perfect world, she should be with you for you. Yes, in romantic comedies, in Shakespeare, Ideally, see what she's saying is you should be in for you. That's a male idealistic concept of love. Men, look, when I talk about, like, we always talk about that, like, women's concept of love is opportunistic, whereas men's concept of love is idealistic. This is the idealism. This is the advertising. This is how women sell themselves on men. Idealism. You want to know why there is body positivity? You want to know why there's fat acceptance? You want to know all that? Because was it beauty standards? Beauty standards are a social construct. So let's put a fat chick on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition because beauty is just what we say it is, right? You should love her for her. It doesn't matter if she's 400-pound land whale. You should love her for her. It doesn't matter if she's Gorlock the Destroyer from whatever podcast. She's got a wonderful soul. It's all about what's inside, right? You should just love you for you. Ideally, like, that sounds pretty goddamn good to guys who can't really measure up in terms of their burden of performance. Guys want to hear this. They love this message. Are you kidding? Yes, you mean you can love me? There's someone out there for everyone. That's the root, by the way. This is the root germ of the soulmate myth, which I have talked about forever since I started back in 2002. Soulmate myth, the one, the fallacy of the one. There's someone out there for everyone. Well, yes and no, but there is no one. There are some good ones and there are some bad ones, but there is no one. And that's an idealization. By the way, it is the same analogous idealization, the soulmate, the one for guys. There is an analogous situation or an analogous character that is the quality woman. That's why I say there is no such thing as a quality woman. Obviously, there are some women who have better qualities and better aspects and attributes, and they have better personalities. No problem. When I say there's no such thing as a quality woman, it's the idealization that I'm talking about, not the actual woman itself. Because what happens is guys will make any chick she's a quality woman. You know how many guys who got married and said she was a quality woman, like said she was this raging demonic bitch at the divorce table? No guy wants to commit to a lifetime to a woman he doesn't think is a quality woman. I mean, unless he's forced to, like, shotgun wedding or something like that, maybe. But yeah, it's an idealization, and she's perpetuating this because she doesn't know any better, and neither does Destiny. I want to talk about this in a minute here because Destiny has this idealization, but it's an idealization of androgyny.
Shout out to Destiny. If Destiny was broke and 300 pounds, would you be in love with him?
I would be in love with him, yes.
You would never have met him in the first place. That's just the thing. See, that's what this is where, and Adam, and this is not a critique on Adam, but this is where I would have stopped Adam. I said, he would never have got his foot in the door in the first place. You would never have seen him online. He would never have been able to steal you away from Leafy or whoever the hell the guy is, right? He would never have been able to essentially import you from Sweden if he hadn't at least met some criteria. This is what Royce used to call the 436 bullet point checklist. Okay. So when I talk about, like, the hoe phase, 18 to 28, if you read my second book, where'd they go? All of the stuff I'm about to talk about now is in the second book. This is the timeline. So women's priorities, they have 400, well, probably less than that, but 436 bullet points that are like make or break deals. This is what I want in a man. He's got to love puppy dogs. He's got to love his mom. He's got to want kids. He's got to be funny. He's got to be hot. He's got to be smart. He's got to make a lot of money. He's got to have this car. He's got to take me to Disneyland now and then. We got to go to fun places. He's got to constantly meet my needs all the time. And my needs are X, Y, Z, whatever, down the list, right? And if he doesn't meet those needs, then he doesn't even get on the short list to be like for me to want to fuck him first, or at least certainly not in the long term. Women, there's a different list. It's ladder theory, right? There's a different ladder or a different list for guys that women want to fuck and guys that women want to have a relationship and a lifetime commitment to, whether that's marriage or whatever else. Those are two different criteria, by the way. It's called ladder theory. It's old school. I don't know how, like, relevant it is today, but I mean, in a certain sense, I guess it is. But when you split up alpha fucks and beta bucks, there's different ladders for alpha fucks and beta bucks. So when you have this idealization of, oh, it doesn't matter if Destiny's 400 pounds, I would marry him. I love him just the same. I love his heart and his soul. Well, you don't get to know who his heart is and his soul and his personality unless he meets a minimum criteria of money, muscles, and fucking game. End of story. Bam. And Myron picks up on this. I'm kind of preempting him here, but Adam Sosnick, the thing is like he picked up on this by asking that question. But the fact of the matter is that she's pitching the soulmate myth here. It doesn't matter what you do as a man. This is what kills me is like I can be on like I would love to. Melina, here's an invitation to you. If you want to be on Access Vegas, I will boot one chick to have you on that show, because I would love to put you in between all of our girls on Access Vegas and let you hash it out with her with them. These are successful women. These are women with, like, in some cases, millions of dollars, and not just based on OnlyFans, also real estate, and we've got some smart ass chicks on there too, right? So they're not just tits and lips. So I would love to have you on. If you want to come on the show, I would love to more than Destiny. I would love to have you on the show and put you in between all these girls so that you would get an education from women who know something a little bit more than you do. And I know you're trying to make a living on OnlyFans or doing whatever the hell it is you're doing as a Swedish bikini model or whatever the fuck you do. But they would probably be able to help you out with your career. I could tell you that for sure.
I mean, you could say that, but I mean, I'm being honest. No, I'm fully honest with you.
I'm not saying
yes.
that if he lost his money now and something happened to him now, you'd stick by your man. Respect, right?
Yes, yeah, because I love him for the things that's not the shallow things. And
the shallow things also happen to be the things that she says are the good things about what Myron and Fresh say about male self-improvement. So essentially, by that logic, she doesn't approve of anything they have to say because they're teaching them to be shallow and get a Lamborghini and whatever.
That's
saying
what
if you met Destiny,
I think you guys should try to build up people in that way. Yeah.
If you met Destiny and he was 300 pounds and he had 0 subscribers on YouTube and he's like, I'm going to be a gamer, you would have not given him a second chance.
Of course I would. Because there are.
Was anybody believe her at this point?
There are things.
Gentlemen. Well, wait, I got that one too.
Stop the cap.
There we go. Anybody believe this? Like it makes for good. It makes for good Maury Povich moments, right? It makes for the yucks on a live studio audience, which is great, right? But it's also an illustration of cognitive dissonance. She knows goddamn well she wouldn't, because she left a dude to get with Destiny. Very famously, anyways, Destiny swooped Melina off of this other guy who was also, I guess, some online personality of some sort. Was it Leafy? I don't even know who it was. I don't know these names. Little kids taking care of my biz, man.
I like him for his opinions.
So pretty,
I like him for the way he is,
beautiful.
his humor.
Okay.
I like him for his intelligence. That's the things that I love him for.
So does intelligence pay the bills? Intelligence and his heart?
Because it's you, it's the
But
personality.
that's
it's
what
not
pays
your
the bills.
It's not your money.
So if you're homeless and you have no car and no house, nothing to feed the kids, I don't know if you have any.
Why do you want to
but you're
go to
gonna be
like the most extreme examples?
Because
I'm telling you
it's
that.
not extreme.
Wait,
This
are you going to argue for like what I'm attracted to? I'm not attracted to people that have cars and money. That's not what I'm attracted to.
Except for Destiny has a lot of money doing what he does, to the point where he moved to Miami, by the way, and to the point where he imported you from your country. As a matter of fact, and I wish this would have been pointed out in there at some point, the very reason she's even in this country is due to the fact that Destiny was the guy that she says she's not attracted to. She's not attracted to the dude with the money and all that. Does he have a Lamborghini? Probably not. But the guy definitely has enough status and enough money to import you from your country and get you a green card and probably citizenship. The very reason she's even sitting her ass in that seat in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, is because of exactly the opposite of what she's been saying. Cognitive dissonance.
Because people like you